Hi, it's Shawnee Lavender, and today I want to talk to you about magic juice, or creativity, and flexibility. Basically, I want to talk to you about how you can move through, or help your children rather, move through resistance in a smoother, more peaceful way. Now, this story is from my own life, and it actually happened just today. This morning, my daughter was set to go to summer camp, and she started saying, I don't want to go. And it wasn't super strong, but she definitely it was not what she wanted to do. And my husband and I both had work to do. It's a work day for us, even though it's summer vacation, it's not for us. And so it's important to us that she did that, her summer camp. And we also knew she would have fun. So most often, this is when we start to butt heads with our children. Our adult response tends to come from a place of logic and rationality, which is not where our young children are. Any child under age 7 or even under age 9, if they're not as developmentally mature, they are not in that world of logic and rational thought nearly as much as we are as adults. So at first, I just empathized with her. First, I was like, I hear you. I hear that that's not what you want to do right now, and didn't say much. And then I did ask her a few questions. You know, did something happen? Is there something you're concerned about? Are you missing mom and dad? You know, just to try and suss out what was going on, if anything specific that I might be able to support her with. And there were a few things, but again, nothing major. And so it was like she just didn't want to go. And so I used my creative resources and went to a different place inside myself as a parent. And I thought, how can I make this fun? How can we achieve this goal that I want, but I think she's also going to enjoy, and not do it in a way that feels harsh to her, feels coercive? And so as I was listening to her, I said, it sort of sounds like you're filled up with don't wants. And it was like a light bulb went off for me, and I was like, ooh, don't wants. And so I said, did you know that I have some don't wash shampoo? And she's like, really? And I said, yes, really. And she said, no, really? I said, yes, really. Of course, so she's trying to really find out, is this true? And so she even said, do you have it in real life? And I said, yes. And she said, say in real life. And I said, okay, I have it in real life. But you can see already it's getting looser, it's getting fun. So then I was like, of course, I don't have Don't Away shampoo, but I was like, okay, what would be fun? So I manufactured my own Don't Away shampoo. Here it is. It is, of course, bubbles, which I knew we had, but I put a Post-it note that I wrote Don't Away. And then below it, I wrote, with super power bubbles. And then I drew a few little bubbles. So that was my creative idea. And so she was asking, it took me a minute to gather the bubbles and, you know, write this down, but really quick, really simple. I'm not an artist, nothing special, but I created this. And so she's like, where's this shampoo? And I said, right here. And I bring it out to her. And so I said, I got to create it, of course. So I said, this is really cool. And I read it to her. And so I said, it has the super power bubbles. And what that does is it gives you superpowers, anything you can think of that you want. And so I gave her a couple examples. I said, so super courage, and I forget what else I said, super courage, super silliness. And she added in a couple on her own. You know, she was getting into it. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, those things. And so then I said, okay, here's how it works. Is we've got to bubble you up, and whenever the bubbles touch you, they give you those superpowers. And they, you know, they get the don'ts away, because it's don't away wash. And so she's like, can we do it on the front porch? I said, absolutely. So we went outside, and I started blowing bubbles on her, and she was trying to get them if they didn't get her. She even closed her eyes. She's like, blow them on my face. So we blew them on her face. She lifted up her shirt so I could blow them on her belly. I said, oh, I see some don'ts on your legs. Let me get that one. And so I leaned down and blew some on her legs and her bare feet, and she's like, here's one over here. And so it was great. It was just fun, and it wasn't about me trying to make sense of why she needed to go and tell her why she needed to go. It was dealing with whatever was going on with her in a playful, light way so that she could move through her emotions and get to the place where she wanted to go. So it was totally easy. She got in the car after that. It wasn't like, okay, now it's time to go, and she resisted again. It was just like, okay, you're all bubbled up. Woo, let's get in the car. And then I said, do you want me to bubble the car? Yes. So it's like, it was so fun. It took so much less time. And all it required of me, which is in a way it's big, but all it required of me was stopping my automatic pattern from my adult mind of, let me explain this to you, let me tell you why you need to do this and why it's going to be good for you, and blah, 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 or as Seinfeld said, yada, yada, yada. I stopped that and went, okay, that doesn't work. It's not fun. It just doesn't work. It's not very effective. And even if it works, it takes a lot of energy and it really doesn't meet her where she's at. So I stopped that process. And then all I did was used a little bit of creativity. I mean, this is minuscule. This is not a big deal. Now, it did take time in terms of, okay, I'm going to play with you and we're going to play with it. But literally, it was from the time I said, hey, looks like you've got a bunch of don'ts going on. And did you know I have this don't away shampoo? It was probably 8 minutes of making the shampoo, telling her a little bit about it, blowing the bubbles on her, getting her to the car, putting her in the car seat, blowing bubbles on the car, and waving goodbye, and she's happy. So it's really easy for us to work with our children and meet them where they are and get our needs met, get their needs met in a really gentle, playful, loving way. And the more you do it, this has been true for me, this is true for my clients, the more you do it, it's like a muscle. If you exercise it, it gets stronger. These things come to you more easily. You don't have to stop yourself. The old habit of being logical and rational, that will start to fade into the background because you'll know that's not what works for your child. So I want to invite you all to make some magic bubble juice, whether it's Don't Away or whether it's Super Kid Power, or it's happy, healthy, frisky juice, you know, whatever the thing is that your child is feeling challenged by. And of course, you don't have to make bubble juice, but play with me here. And it's the idea of use your creativity to be with your child in a more playful, light way, rather than coming from your adult, more natural perspective of, let's reason it out, let's think about it, let's figure out why it makes sense, and talking our kids to death. Let's play with them because that's where children are. That's their language, and when we speak it, we find, and I find, that it's so much easier for everybody. So if you have don'ts going on, here's some Don't Away wash for you. But anyway, the bottom line is have fun, be playful and light with your children, and watch how their resistance can really dissolve away. And it doesn't just take bubbles, it just takes you being there present with them. So I hope that's helpful. If you have some comments or questions, as always, you can post those and I will do my best to get back to you, and we can take this discussion or take this idea into some discussion. All right, thanks a lot. Hope you're having fun out there.